pelvic region, including the hips, sacroiliac joint, lower back, and also the joints below the knees and feet, seem to be an area of huge problems in midlife and beyond. I'm working with a lot of clients pretty much between ages of 40 and 80. And I can definitely see how over time people take their hip mobility for granted. And also they assume that if I'm walking around, then I'm training my hip, right? But remember, walking, it's very good for your joint health. It doesn't really activate all the muscles in the hip, or at least not through all ranges of the hip. And guys, for this, I've got today a routine with yet another piece of equipment. We're going to be working with a foam roller, and we focusing specifically on the hip joint. We'll be working on the gluteal region, deep rotator cuff of the hip, and also the muscles that affect position of the pelvis, including your hamstrings and your hip flexors. Okay, so in a way, we're going to cover everything that surrounds the hip in few movements, using wall, floor, and roller. Just those three things. Don't rush through them. It's all about control and connection. Okay, let's go with the first one. All right, guys, so first movement, we're working on the posterior chain. We're working on the back of the thigh, back of the hip, back of the knee, okay? So primarily hamstrings. So use the foam roller. Ideally, it will be roller that is not too short, okay? It's okay if it's longer. And my roller is made of foam, okay? So it's softer, but it won't collapse under my weight or pressure, but also it doesn't have any spikes. So I can comfortably place my feet on top. So guys, we will begin here by placing middle of the foot, okay? So think arch of the foot and maybe even closer to the heel onto the roller. Knees stay hip distance. Don't let the knees collapse. Don't let them open. Just keep that nice alignment through the knees, hips, all the way to the shoulders. Feel free to start with hands down. Push your hands down, push your head down, mid-back down, right? So think of the area between the shoulder blades. Push your feet into the roller. Think of your glutes, gently tuck tailbone under and float. I like to point my toes even, and then I'm grounding through my heels. The surface is wobbly. That will obviously challenge your hamstrings a little bit more. And maybe you've already found a cramp, okay? Maybe if you're cramping in the area, remember that that's normal, okay? If you're deconditioned or you're very fatigued, this may occur. If you're not controlling your hamstrings, the roller will go. So hamstrings sadly are forced to work to pull the roller back towards you. Release the pelvis. And guys, that's the movement we work with. And maybe that's all you're doing. Pushing feet down and not letting that roller roll away from you, from the shoulders. Maybe you want to bring your feet a tiny bit closer. See how that feels. Press your feet down, gently tucking tailbone under. So notice that here, there is the space underneath my back, but not below my rib cage. Okay, if you want to make it a touch more challenging, simply move the roller. Move it away. So hamstrings are elongating under tension, so eccentric. And then pull towards you, concentric. Oh, this is definitely making it so much more intense, okay? Pulling it towards you. So hamstrings, you may feel this around the sit bones. That's where the origin of the hamstring is. But also you may feel this in the back of the knee on the inside and outside. That's where hamstrings attach, right? Hamstring is actually a group of 3 muscles and they cross behind the knee. So this is also very good training to support your knee joint. You can go all the way here. This will also target your calves. So that goes a little bit beyond the hips, okay? It makes it so much harder. Okay, moving on to the next amazing drills that I absolutely love, and I do them pretty much daily. Next movements, we will be using the roller in this fashion, okay? This end of the roller will be against the wall. You'll be pressing the knee into the roller. Put the roller around this area here, like a lower thigh bone. You don't want to be below, and you probably don't want to be on the thigh. And you aim to keep the roller parallel to the ground. So you don't want to put it this way or this way. And you will be gently pinning that roller into the wall. And guys, we begin in the lunge position. This is my position. I'm going to aim to drop down to 90 degrees, but you can obviously start higher. Make sure you're not on any uneven surface If you've got a carpet or mat, move it off the way so your foot is on a flat surface. And then look at my back toes. I don't want to collapse this way. I don't want to rotate this way or this way. Make sure your heels is nice and high. And then you're simply going to go down and up. What the roller does, it ensures that the knee doesn't cave in and doesn't go medially, where it could create strain on the meniscus, your MCL, your ligaments. The stance could be more narrow if you want to. So if I'm in this position, you may feel quite a lot of quadricep. If you go a little bit more into a hinge, you may feel more glutes, okay? So play around. Neutral, or maybe you adding a hinge. And just doing this with the body weight, you will start feeling like quite a nice work in the thigh, in the glute. Version 1, vertical body, upper body. Movement 2, hinge, come up. All right, we're moving on now to hip airplanes. I simply refer to this as hip rotation, but it's closed kinetic chain, which means that the leg is grounded. So, same setup as in second movement, but now we're balancing, so we're making it a little more challenging. I'm going to push my knee into the roller and balance. The back leg, if you can, straighten it or keep knee bent, but don't let it drop. You don't want to end up being like this, okay? So chest up, neutral spine, and kick back. I'm trying to start with my hips level. From here, left leg stays grounded. I'm going to rotate the pelvis around the left femoral head. So that's hip joint motion. I'm dropping my right hip towards the floor. I'm gently even rotating my upper body, but I'm not doing any, forceful twisting in my back. This is all about the hip. I'm not moving my leg, okay? My left leg is grounded from the foot through the knee, through the hip. So the thigh bone should not be rotating. I should not be feeling anything different in my knee as I'm moving my pelvis. So guys, now from the head, rib cage, lumbar spine here midsection, the right hip, the whole pelvis and the right leg, it's one unit, okay? This is the body of the airplane. And every time I'm going down or up, I'm observing my left thigh bone. My knee still points over my second toe. My thigh bone is in the same position. Drop that hip. Don't move your left thigh, but drop your right hip. My femur doesn't move, but my pelvis does. Notice how my left leg doesn't move at all. And my upper body, torso, pelvis move as one unit. So as you go here, your glute max will open, your posterior capsule, the piriformis, all the external rotators of the hip will open. And then you contract, you go up. So all those muscles, external rotators and glute max will contract. Next movement, we're simply going into the hinge. So here we're lengthening the hamstrings. You're still pushing your knee into the roller, so the position didn't change. Notice here, I don't want to flop. So femur is still, but the pelvis is doing anterior tilt, and the hip ends up in flexion. In fact, movements 2, 3, 4, and the next one is what I'm going to show you. You can do all of them one after another because the setup is exactly the same. Sometimes I add resistance. I just work with dumbbells in this sort of position. So guys, this movement that's coming, a little bit more challenging, and we're working really a lot on the glutes, okay? So see if you can get into this position. Very similar setup with a slight tweak. But this time my top leg is at the front. So I'm here. My left leg is pushing into the roller. Roller is parallel to the floor. So now either you hold the thigh, you use your hip flexors to hold the leg, or I like to even hold my knee. And I'm doing now the sit backs. So the roller is forcing my knee to stay somewhere above the ankle. I'm trying to sit back, okay? You can do it this way. The roller helps me a little bit with stability and with alignment of that left leg. So my left knee is not collapsing. I like to do it as a prep for my pistol squats. we're challenging these muscles here a little bit more compared to the lunges where you might have felt your quads more. And guys, with those 5 movements, you've got an awesome hip lower limb training. No fancy equipment. You could even take the roller with you when you travel. Okay, I like to sometimes put the band below my toes, and that helps me feel the ground a bit more. You can try it on lunge, even though that doesn't require as much stability. But when you get onto the one leg, you actually may help you to have toes slightly elevated, right? Because it will send your weight a little bit more towards the heel. And it's easier to do the airplanes and feel the ground, or do deadlifts on a single leg, or even squatting. It actually will send your weight more towards the heel. So see if that works for you. What you don't want is that a foot wobble, right? You don't want the foot to roll out. You don't want the foot to collapse and your tibia to rotate. So make sure that you're not ending up here. You want to have the foot close enough so that you feel like the knee is maybe slightly pushed out and you ended up in this sort of setup against the wall. So it's that position is quite steady. Knee goes roughly over the second toe and you're not there or there. Okay, guys, so that's it for this video. I hope these 5 exercises will help you decrease the pain in the hip, get stronger, get more stability, and get a little bit more isolation and control over the hip, because it will matter the older you get. You may not feel this in your 30s and 40s, but at some point, as per feedback from my clients who are 50, 60, they say that at some point, hip bursitis and knee pain, IT band problems, the subpatellar pain syndromes start occurring because they play tennis and they're very active and they're running, but they never train for the sport. So these drills, I personally absolutely love them. I think they were one of the most effective drills I've been doing for my hips and for my whole lower limb. You don't want to rush this, okay? Just banging out reps. This is not about burn muscle and muscle pump. Yes, you will feel the burn, but focus on quality of execution, okay? Because that serves specific purpose. You want to move at the hip, right? Especially when you're doing airplanes or hinges. Make sure the hinge occurs. Make sure the rotation is happening. Use a mirror, use someone else to feedback to you, right? Record yourself, because how you train will translate better into your daily life. It's a great workout, especially if you add some dumbbells. And actually, when you do them slowly, under control, you will want to feel a lot of burn. And you may feel actually that your feet got a little bit fatigued, your glutes, maybe even your lumbar muscles a little bit, because it all works. And like, my philosophy is unrushed training, okay? I'm going to spend as much time doing little things to feel connection, to make it better, and also not just being obsessed about results, or that I need to find something that will immediately decrease the pain. Remember that this is a brilliant tool to use for sore thighs, sore backs, sore butt. But remember that rolling, it's just temporary solution. It feels great in a moment because it does have this analgesic pain relieving effect, but that's a not long-lasting effect. Through using this item for training and for this unrushed mobility, strength, control training at home, you are more likely addressing the root cause of your discomfort and also making gains for the future. Because on this channel, we are future proofing. See you in the next video.